The soldiers being trained are Kurds. The place, northern Iraq. The trainers are Israelis. Their governments denied this was happening, but now Newsnight has obtained the first pictures of it and spoken to an Israeli who took part.
Day by day it's a bit tense because you know where you are and you know who you are, and there's always a chance that you'll get found out.
Why then were former Israeli commandos training Kurds in northern Iraq? Was it Israeli freelancers trying to cash in on Iraq's multi-billion-dollar private security boom? Or was this something both governments condoned? The sensitivities for the Kurdish authorities in admitting it are certainly enormous, since their political enemies have long accused them of being in cahoots with Israel.
These are not new allegations for us. Back in the 60s and 70s, we were called the second Israel in the region, and we were supposed to be eliminated by militant nationalist and now Islamist groups. They look for internal enemies, and since we are the easiest to target, these kind of speculations has been around in the region for more than 30 years.
The Kurdistan region sits at a strategic crossroads. To the east, Iran. To the northwest, Turkey. Both countries have significant Kurdish minorities. The authorities in northern Iraq have accepted that the long-cherished dream of Kurdish statehood is not possible for now, and that they must remain part of a federal Iraq. As they develop their region, the Kurds have opened an international airport at Erbil. It now boasts dozens of flights each week. It's here, at Hawla International, that the Israelis began their work.
My part of the contract was to train the Kurdish security people for a big airport project, and to train the Peshmerga and the actual soldiers, the army. We were training them in all kinds of anti-terror methods, airport security, training them with long rifles, pistols, teaching them tactics like shooting behind doors, behind barricades, shooting from the left, shooting from the right, shooting from windows, how to shoot first and how to identify a terrorist in a crowd.
3 years ago, private military companies were bringing ex-soldiers from all over the world to work fat contracts in Iraq. The Israeli government insists it had no knowledge of any Israeli companies doing it, but we've been told that they were all over the Hawla airport project. Papers we've obtained suggest the Israelis were providing quad bikes, communications equipment and security fencing through a company called Kudo. They and another, Colosseum, were also providing military training to Kurds. Both claimed to be Swiss registered, but were set up by Israelis, and key Kurdish officials knew it.
They have been told. We crossed the border from Turkey and one of the intelligence officers let us pass through the border without stamping our passports. So you reckon that if two guys from the intelligence service knew we were Israelis and they saw our passports as well, the leadership knew as well. I mean, the bosses knew. That's natural.
Documents given to us suggest the Kurds were paying Colosseum and Kudo, subsidiaries of a company called Interop. One of those who set up Interop was Danny Yatom, a former head of Mossad, the Israeli Foreign Intelligence Service, and now an MP. He told Newsnight Today,
"I was not aware of what was done in 2004 and 2005 because I cut all contacts with the company when I entered the Israeli parliament in 2003.
The Kurdish areas of Iraq could give Israel strategic options against Iran. One constraint facing the Israelis, should they ever want to hit Iran's nuclear installations, is distance. Most Israeli jets are short range, and they have few in-flight tankers.
In the case of Iran, it's much more complicated because there are so many more targets, and they decide what targets to pick up. And then it's further than Iraq. They want to come as quickly as possible without being detected. When the operation is already underway or finished, they know about it, so you're not afraid anymore of being detected, and then you're looking for a safe place to land, refuel. If there are technical problems, mechanical problems, you need a place to deal with these problems. Hence, they need a safe place, whether it will be in East Africa, or it's going to be within Iraq, one of these places that they still have enough range, enough fuel.
Some studies have suggested that Israel might route an attack via the Horn of Africa. It's on the return leg, best as direct as possible, that a refuelling stop at a modern airfield in Kurdistan might be most useful. Even so, there are formidable obstacles, not least that it would be hard for the Kurdish authorities or America to deny complicity. If the Israelis ever planned to use Hawler Airport as a refuelling stop, it was compromised last year when some pictures appeared in the Israeli press. But it wasn't the only training conducted by the Kudo men while they were there. They were also given more than 100 Peshmerga or Kurdish fighters to train to a far higher standard.
At the beginning, when we first got them, they didn't have any idea of basic shooting, basic standing or basic holding of weapons. Nothing. It took time, but in the end they were shooting professionally, quickly, just as people taught me back in Israel. They reached a good standard. They were getting professional. There's a lot of difference between training airport security and training Peshmerga.
After finishing their training, these Kurds sang their national anthem while marching behind one of the Israelis. So were the men being trained for Kurdish missions, perhaps against other Iraqi factions, or as part of joint plans with the Israelis to go into Iran? The Kurdistan government denies operating jointly with the Israelis, but it does watch Iran with suspicion.
Well, given the historical background of the Iranian Revolution, there is a tendency to export that revolution into the neighboring countries. And having that influence in Iraq will also make Iran stronger, will give opportunity to Iran to be stronger. And maybe in the longer run, the dream would be also to support the Shias in the Gulf areas, so that there is a wider Shiite influence. This is the first time Shiism is coming to power in Iraq, so that's why the balance is very delicate, because if they lose the opportunity to rule Iraq, Iran will not be benefiting from the new environment.
The sensitivity of the former commandos' work meant that they only spoke English to their recruits and Hebrew in private. One of them celebrated his birthday in Iraq, and this was a chance for a noisy party. All the time, though, they knew they were expendable if something went wrong.
We were talking about that every day, in the beginning, in the middle, and especially at the end of the day, when you get a lot of time for yourself, and we were sitting in a big living room talking about that. We had planned how to run, how to escape in case of an emergency. But as far as getting help from the government, I doubt it very much. I mean, I don't think we would get this kind of help.
The man running the contract was an Israeli former paratrooper and counter-terrorist officer called Shlomi Michaels. We called him to see what more he could tell us.
I've been talking with one or two people about the Kudo contract, the security training contract in Iraq.
Who is this?
My name is Mark Urban.
Am I supposed to know you?
No, you don't know me, no. I'm just interested to just see whether you did actually carry out the work.
I don't know who you are, and I have no interest in talking to you.
Well, I'm from the BBC.
The service you called has cleared. The service you called has cleared.
Hello?
Hello, Shlomi, it's Mark again. Listen, I'll tell you why I think you should talk to me. Because I'm a BBC journalist, and I've been speaking to one of the people who was working for you in Iraq.
I have no interest in talking to you.
I know,
What's
but
the big deal?
nevertheless, the person we've spoken to,
don't ever call me again.
he's told us certain things about you and your company.
Has cleared. The service you
The Israeli government has launched an inquiry into reports that their firms were training people in Iraq.
I understand that they've also passed to the Israeli police that if Israeli companies have violated our export